Good afternoon. Good morning, everyone. We'll now begin the morning service of the Miroku Association headquarters, asking God and Meishu-sama to protect and bless us as we participate today in the construction of paradise on earth. Matsunarito, prayer of heaven, and Miroku prayer. Please stand.
Takamaharani kamsumarimasu Kamurogi kamurami no hikoto moshite Sumeni oya kamuri sanagi no hikoto Tsukushi no himuka no tachihana no Odo no ahagi harani Misogi harai tamohu toki ni arimaseru Arai dono kami tachi moro moro no Magago totsumi kegare o Arai tamae kiyome tamae Tomao suko tomo yoshio Amatsu kami kunitsu kami yao yorozu no kami tachi tomoi Ame no fuchi koma no mimi kuri katete Nikoshin neseto kashiko mi kashiko mimu maosu Miroku o mikami Mamori tamae saki hae tamae Miroku o mikami Mamori tamae saki hae tamae Oshie mi oya nushi no kami Mamori tamae saki hae tamae Oshie mi oya nushi no kami Mamori tamae saki hae tamae Kannagara tamachi haemase Kannagara tamachi haemase Great God of light, creator and giver of all life, in accordance with your divine will, the long age of night draws to an end. Your radiant divine light, shining ever more brilliantly, awakens the dawn of the glorious age of light, a time long awaited by all humanity. We thank you for guiding us to your divine plan, and for the privilege of channeling and receiving your ray. May our spirits and bodies be illuminated and purified as we live your truth given to us by Meishu-sama. Make us pure and effective instruments of your divine light, so that we may serve you and all those with whom we come in contact. May paradise on earth be realized, with health, peace, and prosperity, a reality in our lives. Great God of light, bless and protect us. Radiate our souls with your divine light, so that we may truly become instruments of your great plan.
Please be seated. We will now receive group Chore.
Giovanni Meishu-sama, bless you.
Jury is now concluded. We'll now listen to a reading from Meishu-sama's teachings. Courtesy. Inner awareness allows us to act freely, naturally, and with ease, yet still live in accordance with God's law. Let us never stray from the right path. May we follow the law of nature and diligently perform our tasks. If common courtesy is lacking, free thought and action become a fallacy, a pretense. They are not a measure of our true freedom. Shoujo faith tends to be lacking in freedom, and Daijo has unlimited freedom. However, freedom unrestricted by one's wisdom and reason may lead to selfish indulgence or willful and capricious freedom. Thus, we should seek to balance these two principles of freedom. True freedom has to respect the freedom of others, and therefore is not without limits. Freedom, in the true sense of the word, has its boundaries. If you even slightly inconvenience or harm another, you feel uneasy, guilty, and cannot be free and at ease. If you give happiness and joy to others, then you feel happiness and joy. This is true freedom. A person's destiny is given by God at birth. It is predetermined, so it cannot be changed. Fate, however, can be freely changed by an individual within the limits of his or her given destiny. Depending on a person's efforts, it is possible to reach the highest level within that range or to drop to its lowest level. Freedom is similar to fate in that true freedom is contained within certain boundaries. There is no such thing as limitless freedom. True freedom has limitations. That is, it is finite.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining this morning service of the Miroku Association headquarters. Regarding the teaching we just heard today, courtesy, Meishu-sama gave us examples of how he acted, and we are familiar with these passages from the reminiscences about Meishu-sama. There is this passage when a person that didn't know who Meishu-sama was visiting the Hakone sacred grounds when Meishu-sama would have this encounter with the members. And he saw this old gentleman in the restroom, and this old gentleman was organizing the slippers. That's common in Japan, that you use slippers when you use a bathroom. And he was so surprised that when they announced the presence of Meishu-sama, we are now going to hear the words of wisdom and receive light from Meishu-sama. And then he looked, oh, that's the old gentleman from the restroom. He was so surprised. So that was this kind of an act of a courtesy. Meishu-sama also expressing in a poem that in the early days, when still we didn't have many disciples, that he was not feeling up to par, and still he spent the whole day giving Jorei. So he showed how to proceed, for us to forget about sleeping or eating, if it is the purpose is to help others. So Meishu-sama did that himself. And there's this other passage when there was the opening of the Hakone Art Museum, 1952, that while everybody was busy making 5-minute preparations for the guests to come, then they saw Meishu-sama, he was sweeping the floor at the entrance. Meishu-sama, you are Meishu-sama, what you are doing? Meishu-sama was showing in action this act of courtesy. He was thinking about the guests, so we want to make the best impression possible? And then he said, well, everybody's already busy. So I saw that the floor needs some sweeping. That's what I'm doing. So those are small examples, of course. I had one experience myself when I was serving in San Francisco. That was in 94. I used to have the Jewelry Center as my living quarters. I was living over there at the Jewelry Center. So I announced to the members and regular visitors when my day off was. It was a Monday. Then said, look, the center is closed on Monday because I need a day off. I need to take care of my family. I had already my daughter at that time. And then one sunny day, which was a rare thing for me in San Francisco, we lived in a foggy area over there. So we decided to go to the beautiful Golden State Park. When we are about to leave the center, so this inactive member, he was inactive for a long time, he came asking for jewelry, and we could see that his throat was all swollen. It was a severe case. He later told me there was a thyroid-related purification. Anyway, so when he asked for jewelry, I was counting 1, 2, 3. Do I give jewelry to him? Don't you know? I was thinking, don't you know that today is my day off? So I look at my wife, honey, can we wait a little longer? I'd like to give this fellow jewelry. Oh, sure. Of course, you're a minister. That's what you should be doing. Thank you, honey. So I then started giving jewelry, but I will tell you, the first 5 minutes were not, it was not a jewelry full of love. I was still thinking, why do you have to come during my day off? I don't have that abundance of days off, and exactly the day that it is my day off, you decide to come. But anyway, thinking about courtesy, I have to be courteous. I have to show love and compassion. This person was suffering. So then I changed my feeling to a positive one. And as I was giving him jewelry, then a thought came to mind. And I asked him, look, do you have any ancestor that possibly committed suicide by hanging and so on? First, he probably felt that the question was too shocking. No, I don't think so. Okay, just wondering. All right. So then he turned, I continued giving jewelry to his back, and then he remembered, oh, of course, how could I forget? My aunt, my mother's sister, that's exactly, she committed suicide 20 years ago, hanging herself. And then we finished jewelry, and I explained to him that he was being utilized by her for her salvation. And then he should come every day to receive jewelry and fill out a prayer form, pray for her, do enshrinement, her enshrinement. And he felt, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Wow, thank you very much. He didn't come the next day. He didn't come for the next 2 weeks. And when he actually returned, he said, oh, I came to receive jewelry for post-surgery recovery. I had this surgical procedure on me. Well, how about your end? Did you think of what was our first encounter when I mentioned the importance of praying to him? Yeah, I felt that made sense, but he didn't do anything. But what was important was an experience for me. He was utilized to test my level of courtesy, my level of compassion. And the fact that my question to him hit the bullseyes. The point was that I felt exactly his purification was related to one of his ancestors. So I never forgot this experience, although he himself didn't make the full use of it. But at the end, it didn't matter because for me it was part of my of building my own faith. Today, I'd like to share this faith experience that was shared today in Brazil from Maria Lúcia da Silva. She's from São Paulo. I have been a jury member for 23 years, and I currently fulfill my mission as an assistant to my minister. Every year, I renew my commitment to serving the divine work and create new goals in relation to my dedications. In early 2019, I decided to increase my channeling of Jorei and the offering of monetary gratitude, which I began to do in January. I have varicose veins on my legs, and in March of the same year, a wound appeared on my left foot, which soon swelled up and turned dark. Because I felt a lot of pain, I walked with difficulty. My doctor recommended only dressing and applying bandages on my foot. During this period, I had jury assistance from my daughter, who lives close to my home, and from members of the jury center. I received from 3 to 5 hours of jury daily. In addition, I held jury gatherings at home, to which I invited members and neighbors. In May, in preparation for the Paradise on Earth service, our minister instructed us to distribute small flower arrangements, mini banda, and prayer forms for the service to as many people as possible, including those who do not know our church. So even with the pain and swelling in my foot, I made a point in participating in the suggested dedication. In this way, I delivered over 100 prayer forms to members, jury visitors, and people I knew, explaining the meaning of this important celebration. In the meantime, 2 more wounds appeared on my foot that began to eliminate a lot of fluid. In the same period, I reflected that I was being used by God and Meishu-sama to save my ancestors through this purification. Thus, with all my love and sincerity, I offered a special gratitude donation for this great permission and for the opportunity to serve the divine work in the realization of paradise. After a couple of days, the swelling in the foot subsided, the pain disappeared, and the wound began to heal. I participated in the Paradise on Earth service with my gratitude and joy. Shortly thereafter, I started to receive pension funds from my husband, who died in 2015, whose process had been ongoing since then without being resolved. Currently, my affected leg is fine. There is no pain, no swelling. I only wear a compression sock to stimulate circulation. With this experience, I learned that when we truly commit ourselves to serving the divine work, seeking to exceed our limitations, we are granted protection and strength in order to fulfill our mission. I thank God, Meishu-sama, and my ancestors for the permission to experience this blessing and to dedicate in the realization of paradise on earth. Thank you very much. So in this experience, we heard the importance that the Paradise on Earth service is. We have our Paradise on Earth. We are recognizing, celebrating this coming Sunday. If you live nearby, we strongly encourage you to come and attend the service. You may not be in the neighborhood, but you may have someone that you know that you would like to invite to join us this Sunday at 11 a.m. And feel free to join us online through Facebook, through Zoom, and through our YouTube channel, Miroku TV. I want to thank you very much and wish you a wonderful day. Thank you.
This brings to a conclusion our morning service. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Have a blessed day.